We all spend our lives chasing happiness, but have we been looking for it in the wrong places?
For a long time, we believed that happiness was a destination, something we would finally achieve when we got that promotion, bought the dream car, or reached a certain number in our bank account.
We treat it like a finish line. But what if I told you that the latest scientific research shows this is a fundamental misunderstanding? This pursuit is like chasing a mirage. The closer you think you are, the further it moves away. This is because our brain has a clever, and often frustrating, trick up its sleeve. It is called hedonic adaptation. Think about the excitement of getting a new smartphone. For the first few days, it feels amazing, and you cannot stop using it. But after a week or two, the novelty wears off. It becomes just another object. The same thing happens with big life events.
The initial joy of a new job or a new house eventually fades, and we return to our personal baseline level of happiness.
We adapt.
This is why lasting happiness cannot be built on external achievements and material possessions alone. They provide a temporary spike, a quick thrill, but they are not a sustainable source of true, deep-seated contentment.
So, if it is not the big moments and the big purchases, what actually makes us happy?
The answer lies not in changing our circumstances, but in understanding the inner workings of our own mind and behavior. The journey to understanding happiness begins by letting go of the myth that it is something to be found out there, and instead, realizing it is something we cultivate in here.
So, if happiness isn't just about what happens to us, where does it come from?
The answer lies within the intricate chemistry of our own brains. Our feelings of joy, satisfaction, and connection are actually driven by a cocktail of powerful neurochemicals.
Think of them as your body's natural happiness team. The first key player is dopamine.
You have probably heard it called the reward chemical. Dopamine is released when we are anticipating something good, like when you smell your favorite food cooking or when you are about to meet a loved one. It is the feeling of motivation and desire, the signal that says, "This is important. Go for it." Next, we have oxytocin, often dubbed the love hormone or cuddle chemical.
This one is all about connection.
It is released when we hug someone, when we hold hands, when we pet a dog, or even when we have a deep, meaningful conversation with a friend.
Oxytocin builds trust, strengthens relationships, and gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling of belonging.
Then there is serotonin, a mood stabilizer. This chemical helps you feel significant and important. It flows when you feel respected, when your work is appreciated, or when you experience a sense of pride.
Low levels of serotonin are linked to feelings of loneliness and depression. Finally, endorphins are the body's natural painkillers.
They are released in response to stress and discomfort, most notably during exercise. That's the famous runner's high.
They mask physical pain and create a feeling of euphoria.
True happiness, therefore, is not one single feeling, but a delicate and beautiful dance between these four key chemicals in your brain.
If we look at the brain's chemistry, one thing becomes overwhelmingly clear: we are wired for connection.
Of all the happy chemicals, oxytocin stands out as a powerful force that is entirely dependent on our relationships with others. For decades, one of the longest and most extensive studies on human happiness, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, has been tracking the lives of hundreds of men.
Its finding is stunningly simple.
The single most important factor for a happy and healthy life is not wealth, fame, or how hard you work. It is the quality of your relationships. Strong, warm connections are a buffer against life's hardships. They protect our brains and our bodies.
When you have people you can count on, your nervous system relaxes.
Chronic stress, which is terrible for both our physical and mental health, is significantly reduced when we feel supported and loved. This does not mean you need to be an extrovert with hundreds of friends. It is about the depth, not the breadth. It is about having one or two people with whom you can be your true, authentic self, people you can call at 2 a.m. when you are in trouble. These bonds are not a luxury, they are a biological necessity. Every time you share a laugh, offer a supportive ear, or give someone a heartfelt compliment, you are not just being nice, you are actively engaging in a biochemical exchange that boosts both your and their well-being. Investing in your relationships is, quite literally, investing in your happiness portfolio. One of the biggest paradoxes of happiness is that to get more of it, we need to give it away. Our brain is inherently selfish, but in a very special way, it is designed to reward us for being generous. When we do something kind for someone else, our brain lights up in a spectacular way. Acts of generosity, whether big or small, trigger a release of dopamine, giving us a helper's high. But it does not stop there. Seeing the positive impact we have on another person also boosts our oxytocin, strengthening our sense of connection. And when we are recognized for our kindness, even with a simple thank you, our serotonin levels get a nice lift. This creates a beautiful positive feedback loop. Giving makes you feel good, which makes you want to give more. This is not just about writing a big check to a charity, though that is wonderful. The science shows that small, everyday acts of kindness are incredibly powerful. Paying for the coffee of the person behind you in line, helping a colleague with a difficult task, or simply offering a genuine compliment can have a profound effect on your own mood. This works because it shifts our focus from ourselves, our own problems, worries, and desires, onto the well-being of others. This shift breaks the cycle of rumination and self-criticism that often underlies unhappiness. In essence, generosity is a powerful antidote to self-absorption. By making someone else smile, you are, without a doubt, activating the very neural pathways in your own brain that are responsible for your lasting happiness. What does it feel like to be so absorbed in an activity that you completely lose track of time? The world around you fades away, you are not thinking about your problems, and you are not checking your phone. This state of complete immersion is called flow. Coined by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, flow is a state of intense focus and enjoyment in the process of an activity. It is that feeling you get when you are playing a musical instrument, painting, coding, playing a sport, or even engaging in a challenging piece of work. During flow, your brain operates at its peak. It is not happy in a relaxed, lazy way, but in a highly engaged and purposeful way. This state is deeply satisfying because it provides a sense of mastery and accomplishment. But flow does more than just make us happy in the moment, it helps us build a life of meaning. When we regularly engage in activities that put us in a state of flow, we are actively constructing a sense of purpose. Happiness is not just about feeling good, it is about feeling that your life is good. It is the difference between fleeting pleasure and lasting fulfillment. A life filled with purpose is one where your actions are aligned with your values. This could be raising your children to be kind people, contributing to your community, creating art, or solving a complex problem at work. When you wake up in the morning with a sense of why you are doing what you are doing, you build a resilient foundation for happiness that can withstand life's inevitable ups and downs. We have journeyed through the science, from brain chemicals to social bonds, from generosity to flow. But how do we integrate all of this into our daily lives? The most powerful and scientifically backed daily practice is gratitude. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It is a mindful awareness of the good things in your life, big and small. It is about actively recognizing that the sources of this goodness often lie outside of ourselves. When you practice gratitude, you are essentially training your brain to scan the world for positives instead of negatives. Our brains have a natural negativity bias, they are Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. This was useful for our ancestors to avoid danger, but in the modern world, it can make us anxious and unhappy. Gratitude is the deliberate antidote to this bias. Neuroscientific studies show that regularly writing down 3 things you are grateful for can physically rewire your brain. It strengthens neural pathways associated with happiness and reduces activity in the anxiety-prone parts of the brain. It slows down hedonic adaptation by making you appreciate what you have, instead of always longing for what you do not. You start to notice the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your morning coffee, the kindness of a stranger.
This does not mean ignoring life's difficulties. It means choosing to also see the good.
By ending your day by reflecting on a few specific things you were grateful for, you are not just keeping a diary.
You are performing mental surgery.
You are actively building a happier, more resilient, and more satisfied version of yourself, one thankful thought at a time. Happiness, it turns out, is not a prize to be won, but a muscle to be exercised.